Imagine planting a seed. The next morning, you dig it up to see if it's growing. Nothing. So you plant a different seed. The next day, you check again. Still nothing. After a few weeks, you've planted 20 different seeds, but not a single one has had enough time to become a tree. This is exactly how most people try to make money online. They start a YouTube channel. After 3 weeks, they switch to dropshipping. A month later, they're learning affiliate marketing. Then it's print on demand. Then AI services. Then crypto. Then freelancing. Every new idea feels like the opportunity that will finally change their life. 6 months later, they're back where they started. Not because none of the ideas work, because they never stayed with one long enough to find out. Today, I want to share one of the simplest frameworks for building an income stream. It's called the 90-day income experiment. It isn't a business model. It isn't a side hustle. It's a way of thinking that removes confusion, eliminates shiny object syndrome, and dramatically increases your chances of making your first real income. By the end of this video, you'll understand why most people fail before they ever give themselves a chance to succeed.
Let's start with a simple question. How long do most people stick with a new idea? Maybe a few weeks, sometimes a month. They expect immediate results. If they don't see them, they assume the idea doesn't work. But think about learning to play the guitar. Would you expect to become amazing after practicing for 2 weeks? Of course not. You understand that learning takes time. Strangely, when it comes to making money, we forget this completely. We expect instant success. When it doesn't happen, we blame the strategy instead of our impatience.
The biggest enemy of financial progress isn't failure. It's constant switching. Every time you jump to a new opportunity, you start over. You learn new skills, build a new audience, create new systems, study a new market. You keep paying the beginner's tax. Meanwhile, someone else sticks with one idea for months. They improve a little every week. Eventually, their small improvements compound. Yours never do, because you reset the clock every time. That's where the 90-day income experiment comes in. For the next 90 days, you commit to one simple experiment. Not forever, just 90 days. And during those 90 days, 4 rules guide every decision you make. Rule 1, one offer. Don't try to sell 5 different things. Choose one. Maybe it's a freelance service, a digital template, a coaching package, an online course, a newsletter sponsorship. A simple product solves one specific problem for one specific person. The clearer your offer, the easier it is to improve. Imagine opening a restaurant. Would you rather perfect one incredible burger or serve 50 average dishes? Most successful businesses started by becoming exceptionally good at one thing. Focus creates mastery.
Rule 2, one audience. Many people try to help everyone. The result? They help no one. Instead, imagine speaking to one person. What problem keeps them awake at night? What are they struggling with? The more specific your audience becomes, the easier it becomes to create something they actually want. A fitness coach for busy fathers, a budgeting guide for college students, a resume service for software engineers. Specific beats general almost every time. Rule 3, one sales channel. Here's another common mistake. Posting everywhere. Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, LinkedIn, Facebook, X, Threads, Pinterest. By the end of the week, you're exhausted. and none of them are growing. Instead, choose one channel where your audience already spends time. Then learn how that platform works. Create consistently. Improve consistently. Remember, depth usually beats breadth. It's better to become known in one place than invisible everywhere. Rule 4. One weekly metric. Most people measure everything: views, followers, likes, comments, subscribers, clicks, sales, revenue. The problem is that too many numbers create confusion. Instead, choose one metric that matters most. Maybe it's sales calls booked, email subscribers, products sold, qualified leads, or weekly revenue. If that number improves every week, you're moving in the right direction. Everything else becomes secondary. Now, here's why 90 days matters. It's long enough to gather meaningful data, but short enough to stay motivated. Think of yourself as a scientist. You're not trying to prove you're a genius. You're simply running an experiment. Some experiments succeed, some don't. Both give you valuable information. Failure isn't the opposite of progress. It's part of the research. Imagine two people. The first tries 6 different business ideas in 6 months. Each one lasts about 4 weeks. The second chooses one offer, one audience, one channel, and sticks with it for 90 days. Who learns more? Who improves faster? Who is more likely to earn their first consistent income? Almost always, it's the second person. Not because they picked a magical opportunity, because they gave ordinary progress enough time to become extraordinary. There's another psychological reason this works. Every time you switch ideas, your brain gets a fresh burst of excitement. New opportunities feel exciting because they haven't disappointed you yet. Psychologists call this novelty bias. Our brains naturally assume that something new must be better. But success rarely comes from finding better opportunities. It usually comes from improving the opportunity you already have. That's much less exciting, but it's far more profitable. So, what happens after 90 days? Now, you review the experiment. Ask yourself 4 simple questions. Did people actually want my offer? Did I enjoy solving this problem? Which part of the process created the biggest results? What's the one improvement I should make next? Notice what you don't ask. Should I quit? Because if the fundamentals are working, you don't need a new idea. You need a better version of the same idea. Small improvements create massive differences over time. Here's the biggest lesson. Income isn't built by chasing every opportunity. It's built by giving one good opportunity enough time to grow. Every successful creator, every entrepreneur, every freelancer, every investor reached a point where they stopped asking, "What should I try next?" and started asking, "How can I make this better?" That single shift changes everything. So if you're feeling overwhelmed by endless business ideas, take a step back. Choose one offer, serve one audience, use one sales channel, track one weekly metric. Then ignore the noise for the next 90 days. Because wealth rarely belongs to the person with the most ideas. It usually belongs to the person who stayed focused long enough to turn one idea into something valuable. And sometimes
The difference between someone who succeeds and someone who doesn't is simply 90 days of uninterrupted focus.